tough one to swallow there. It's another classic Miami Florida State game. This time we ended up on the wrong side of it. Proud of the way that our team fought, coming back at halftime, the way we played in the second half. Our guys just battled, but you got to give them credit. They battled too. Obviously, they made the crucial play on the 4th down and long. And they found one more play than we did to win the game. So there's a lot of hurt in that locker room right now. We got to make sure we regroup. Send our seniors and our outgoing players out with a great win in their last game at Hard Rock Stadium next week. Open up for questions.
Thank you, Coach. If you have a question for Coach Diaz, please use the hand raise function on Zoom. And Coach, we're going to start with Gary Furman from Cane Sport. Gary, go ahead.
Hey, Manny, just incredible momentum swings in that game. Can you just take us into what you were thinking in the first quarter when it's 17-0 and everything seems to be going wrong and in a very tough environment?
Yeah, we were, we knew they'd come out with a lot of energy, but we were our own worst enemy. I mean, obviously we were, maybe overhyped, we had penalties, couldn't stay on sides, just things like that where we had to settle into the game. But you mentioned it, Gary, we knew it'd be a game of runs. We knew that there'd be momentum shifts. We talk all the time about, during the course of the week about what Miami Florida State games are like. And even when we came in the locker room down 13, we said 13 is a bad score to be up by in a Miami Florida State game. That's just what history has shown. And our guys stood together, stayed, fought, and obviously found a way to claw back.
Coach, we'll go to Manny Navarro from The Athletic. Manny, go ahead.
Hey, Manny, two particular things I wanted to ask you about. One, obviously you guys punted, put them back on the final possession, but Cam ended up giving the big catch. Just kind of what happened on that play. And then second part is just, timeouts. They get down to the 1 yard line. You guys had 2 left. I think 12 seconds ran off the clock before you called the timeout there. Just kind of what was going through your mind, and whether or not to call the timeout or let the clock tick.
Yeah, the 4th down play, we played coverage. They had 3 guys out on a pass against 7 guys covering. So it's obviously very, very disappointing that they could find a window for 3 guys to get opening at 7. So that's just a lack of execution on our part. Got to give Travis credit for sticking the throw in there and the guy making the catch, but that's just the situation there at the end. The debate there is do you let him score with the ball being 6 inches away? And so that was sort of the back and forth. You had to kind of get a sense for what their tempo was going to be, because obviously it's a different situation for them down by 5. They can't waste too much time. So there was a little bit of just kind of getting to see what their tempo was. Obviously we called the timeout for the first play, called the timeout for the second play to see what they were going to do. And then obviously eventually they scored. I mean, we had a chance to get some throws. Obviously, had a chance there on the last drive to potentially tie it up, but ultimately ran out of time.
Coach, we've got David Wilson from the Miami Herald. David, go ahead.
Manny, a couple other just from that last sequence there. One, obviously a 4th and 1 there. You guys have been aggressive going for it on 4th down this year. Was there thought of going for it there rather than punting?
It was 1.5. It was a longer one than just a 1. And in a 5-point game, like making them drive the length. Obviously, we had a chance to down the ball at the 1 yard line. It's been a huge play in the game, and sometimes those are just we talk about in the Florida State Miami series. We said you never know which play is going to matter, and all those plays mattered. So that was obviously going to be a big one.
And obviously they get that drive going with that 60-yard pass. Just what did you see on that play?
Well, they beat us one-on-one in man coverage, which they hadn't really been able to do much of. Made a play, just threw a fade to the slot. We got the guy on the ground, still had a chance to defend the red zone, and ultimately had a chance to win the game on 4th down and just couldn't get it done.
Coach, we got a couple more hands up. We're going to go to David Lake inside the U. David, go ahead.
Yeah, Coach, just wanted to get your assessment of Tyler. At the end of the game, I guess he did have solid numbers, but it was a little bit of a rough go in the start. Just from your point of view, what was happening there in the beginning with Tyler?
It was tough. I mean, it's Tyler's. I mean, he's been so impressive, but he hasn't seen the atmosphere of what he came into today. I mean, it's still your first Miami Florida State game on the road, and that was that's, you know, in the 3 trips up here now. I mean, that's as rowdy of a crowd as we've had to go against. So it took him a while to settle down. Like it took a lot of guys on our team a while to settle down. He missed some throws. We had some guys deep. You know, we've been hitting our shots over the last few weeks, and we didn't hit our shots early. But what was great about Tyler is that he didn't flinch. Got back in the game, made some big time plays. I mean, that one out of the goal, off the goal line to Rambo was phenomenal. The one he stuck it on the Rambo on the 4th down was great. So to me, the stats are one thing, but to me, it's about the way he grew into the game, and the way he played in the second half. You know, I'm very, very proud of him for, again, we forget, you know, still being a young guy and a rookie on the road in very adverse conditions.
Last 2 for you, Coach. First, we'll go to Brian London. Brian, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, just could you address the number of penalties, the number of penalty yards, and maybe how that impacted the game?
It certainly did in the first half. I mean, it set us, you know, just help them set them on short fields, short down and distance situations. Just to, you know, again, just guys that I think too amped up, too hyped up, and just you know, in an emotional setting, an emotional type game, not as disciplined as we needed to be.
Last one for you, Coach. We got Daryl Streeter from Football Bill. Daryl, go ahead.
Coach, how you doing? At the end of the game, 58 seconds left there at the goal line. Did the thought to let them score? What went into that decision? Did that thought come into your mind or no?
Yeah, no, that was a conversation that we had. It's just such a strange situation, up by 5 there, holding the 2 timeouts, and it's, you know, still not they had to get it in. You know, if it was 1-2 where they're already in field goal range, you know, it's a little bit of a different situation there. But you know, the idea was, could you outfight them? And obviously they had to have some urgency to get it in. You know, they couldn't wait and let it go that long as well. So yeah, but yes, to your point, that was discussed. And
the freshman DBs on the back end, James go down, and now you're left with Williams and Cam. Access how they played in such a huge game atmosphere like this.
I mean, they battle, man. I mean, it's hard. It's the same thing. I mean, those guys they're special kids. They're special for what they're doing, but they're still, I mean, they're still rookies playing on the road in Tallahassee. You know, I mean, Avante's been playing for three games now, and basically had to play the entire game at safety there. You know, even Cam, you know, I mean, Cam, I mean, the guy is so conscientious, tries to do everything right, you know, and got put in some tough situations tonight, just in coverage and out in the field. So those guys are going to learn from this. You know what I mean? This will not sit well. This defeat will be hard for our guys. It's emotional there, but they can use this as fuel. And this is what this rivalry is all about. That was the proper Miami Florida State game. It had been a few years since we'd had one of those, and they'll know, and they'll understand what this game will mean when we get it back in Hard Rock next year.
Coach, thank you very much for spending a few minutes with us tonight. We appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.